Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Entrepreneur Power Hour Saturday night personal development series. I'm your host, Chris Peters. Kareem Mays, how you doing, man?
Doing awesome. Excited for this audio.
Yeah, me too. All right, guys. So tonight we're listening to Acres of Diamonds Part 2 by Mr. Earl Nightingale. And we have myself, Chris Peters, we have Kareem, and we have our third co-host, Miss Frances Richardson. So strap yourselves in. It's about a 45-minute audio and get ready to expand your mind. Here we go.
The stories of people achieving unusual success despite all manner of handicaps never fail to capture our attention if we study them closely. The boy whose legs were terribly burned and who was told he'd be lucky to ever walk again becomes a champion track star. The woman, blind and deaf from birth, becomes one of the most inspirational figures of the century. And the poor children, who rise to fame and fortune, have nearly become commonplace. In this age of unprecedented immigration, we read and see on television examples of people who arrived in this country without any money and without knowing a word of English, and who, within a surprisingly short time, have become wonderfully successful. In fact, the typical Korean family that has emigrated to the United States during the past 20 years has a higher average income than the average American family that was born and went to school here. Now, how does that happen? Freedom, personal liberty, is the most precious thing on earth. It is also one of the rarest, hence its great value. People who manage to get to America, despite mountainous problems and miles of red tape, often find themselves free for the first time in their lives. It's a joyous, wonderful experience for them. And in this newfound freedom, they set to work to find a place for themselves. They go to work serving their new country and its people. Time means nothing to them, but being free to pursue their own ends in the richest, freest country on the planet is everything. They all go to work, and they work hard, and their work is excellent, first class, as good as they can do it, and is priced fairly. You don't see them marching, demanding higher pay or shorter hours. All they want is the opportunity, and once that's theirs, they make the most of it. In New York City, a Korean family managed to buy a small convenience grocery store in Midtown Manhattan. The first thing they did was clean it. It sparkled with cleanliness. Then they stocked it with everything they felt the people in their area wanted in the way of things you find in a grocery store. They were open early in the morning. They stayed open late at night. They never failed to smile and give a friendly greeting to their customers. Naturally, they became wonderfully successful. They were open 7 days a week. One day, customers coming to the store found it closed, and on the door was a sign giving the reason why. It read, "We've gone to Yale University to watch our son graduate." That's an American story. The true story of people who found joy in freedom and in the opportunity to serve their fellow man and make the most of it. What sets these people with such vast handicaps, such as not knowing the language, not knowing the right people, not having any money? Or the boy with the burned legs who becomes the champion runner, or a Helen Keller, blind and deaf at birth? What in the world is the answer? The answer, if fully understood, will bring you and me anything and everything we truly want, and it's deceptively simple. We touched on it in our last message. Perhaps it's too simple. The people we've talked about here, and the thousands currently doing the same thing all over the country, are in possession of something the average American doesn't have. They have goals. They have a burning desire to succeed despite all handicaps. They know exactly what they want. They think about it every day of their lives. It gets them up in the morning, and it keeps them giving their very best all day long. It's the last thing they think about before dropping off to sleep at night. They have a vision of exactly what they want to do, and that vision carries them over every obstacle. This vision, this dream, this goal, invisible to all the world except the person holding it, is responsible for perhaps every great advance and achievement of humankind. It's the underlying motive for just about everything we see about us. Everything worthwhile achieved by men and women is a dream come true, a goal reached. It's been said that what the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. It's the fine building where before there was an empty lot or an ancient eyesore. It's the bridge spanning the bay. It's landing on the moon. And it's that little convenience store in Midtown Manhattan. It's the lovely home on a tree-shaded street and the young person accepting the diploma. It's the new baby in its mother's arms. It's a low golf handicap and a position reached in the world of business. It's a certain income attained or amount of money invested. What the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve.
Damn straight.
We become what we think about. And when we're possessed by an exciting goal, we reach it. That's why it's been said, be choosy, therefore, what you set your heart upon, for if you want it strongly enough, you'll get it. Amen to that. It's been said that Americans can have anything they want. The trouble is they don't know what they want. Oh, they want little things. They want a new car. They get it. They want a new refrigerator. They get it. They want a new home, and they get it. The system never fails for them, but they don't seem to understand that it is a system, nor that if it'll work for a refrigerator or a new car, it will work for anything else they want very much, just as well. Perhaps that's best. People come in all shapes and sizes and with goals of infinitely varying specifications, if they have goals at all. Once a person fully and emotionally understands that the goals that are important to him or her can become real in his or her life, well, it's like opening a jack-in-the-box. All sorts of interesting and exciting things begin to happen. Quite often we become truly alive for the first time in our lives. We look back at our former lives and realize we were shuffling along in a kind of lockstep, that we were actually taking our cues from those about us in the unspoken assumption that we're all alike, when nothing could be farther from the truth. We are not all alike. Each of us is quite different, with different abilities, different genetic profiles, different wants in life. What will wonderfully satisfy one particular family and represent complete success for them would be considered failure for another family. All because of their different aspirations, their different plateaus in life, the difference in their lifestyles, upbringings, education. Every facet of our environment as youngsters has an effect upon us and helps to set our course in life. The youngster who knew poverty as a child might aspire to be rich. He might overcompensate because of the desolation of his youth, while another young man raised in an upper middle-class family who always had just about everything he wanted might settle for a very middle-class adulthood. Things we've always had aren't as important to us as they are to those who've been without them. We talked about freedom on the preceding message and how dear it is to those who never had it, while most Americans take it for granted and never even think about it. If you ask most Americans what the most important thing in the world is for a human being, chances are they'd seldom come up with freedom. Yet as Archibald MacLeish wrote in his fine play, The Secret of Freedom, the secret of happiness is freedom, and the secret of freedom, courage. To understand the subject and the importance of goal setting, we have to realize that it's the very basis of any success. It is, in fact, the very definition of success. This definition of success I've ever found goes like this. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy goal, or in some cases, the pursuit of a worthy ideal. If you will give these definitions some thought, I think you'll agree with me. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy goal. That's a beautiful definition of success. It means that anyone who's on course toward the fulfillment of a goal is successful. Now, success doesn't lie in the achievement of a goal, although that's what the world considers success. It lies in the journey toward the goal. We're successful as long as we're working towards something we want to bring about in our lives. That's when the human being is at his or her best. That's what Cervantes meant when he wrote, "The road is better than the inn." Quite often romantic stories end with the loving couple getting married. That's just the beginning of the real story. When the young person stands before his school's president or principal and receives the diploma, That's called commencement. That's the beginning. It's an important milestone to be sure, and congratulations are certainly in order. But where are you going from there? Once a person has realized the goal for which he or she has so assiduously toiled, that's wonderful. It's time for a rest and some self-congratulations, time to savor the achievement. But we're no longer successful by my definition until we set a new higher goal toward which to work. We're at our best when we're climbing, thinking, planning, working, when we're on the road towards something we want to bring about. I don't mean by this that we should become workaholics. Far from it. In fact, it's been well established that the most successful men and women manage to live in a wonderful state of balance, with lots of recreation. Take that word recreate apart when you've got some time, and you'll find it interesting. And they get lots of rest. The mind works best when we're properly rested, and our minds are the best and most important parts of us, regardless of what we choose to do. Did you ever hear an athlete say, it's about 90% mental? Whatever the percentage really is in a good game of golf or tennis, it's very large. As we pointed out in the magic word, our mental attitude can make all the difference between winning and losing. With our definition, success being the progressive realization of a worthy goal, we cover all the bases. The young person working to finish school is as successful as any person on earth. The person working toward a particular position with his or her company is just as successful. If you have a goal that you find worthy of you as a person, a goal that fills you with joy at the thought of it, believe me, you'll reach it. But as you draw near and see that the goal will soon be achieved, begin to think ahead to the next goal you're going to set. It often happens that a writer, halfway through a book, will hit upon the idea for his next one and begin making notes or ideas for a title, even while he's finishing work on the one in progress. That's the way it should be. One of my favorite poems is by Rabindranath Tagore, the distinguished Calcutta poet, and it goes like this. I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I woke and saw that life was duty. I acted, and behold, duty was joy. We are at our very best, and we are happiest when we are fully engaged in work we enjoy on the journey toward the goal we've established for ourselves. It gives meaning to our time off and comfort to our sleep. It makes everything else in life so wonderful, so worthwhile. Most people, when they think of the word success, tend to equate it with lots of money. Sometimes that's a natural part of the goal and tells us how well we're doing, but not always by any means. Success is whatever we want it to be, that is worthy of us. That's why I commented earlier that success may also be defined as the pursuit of a worthy ideal. For example, I can't imagine anyone being more successful than an outstanding teacher who's striving to know more about the art of teaching and the subject matter that will catch the interest of his or her pupils, who understands that every student is different and learns at a different rate of speed. Joy and satisfaction come to us from serving others, and there are literally millions of ways of doing that. For those whose goals involve the serving of great numbers of people, chances are they'll be richly rewarded indeed. In fact, for many, a goal is a certain level of income or a certain amount of money in an investment account. A goal is an individual thing, as individual as the person, him or herself. Since no two people are exactly alike, it stands to reason that no two of us will have exactly the same goals. One thing a goal must do, however, is fill us with positive emotion when we think about it. It must be something we want very much to bring about. The more intensely we feel about a goal, the more assuredly the idea buried deep in our subconscious will direct us along the path to its fulfillment. I once used the quotation, "No one gets rich without enriching others." I received a letter from a man in Utah who wrote, "How about those who get rich in the drug trade, or those who produce and sell pornography? How do they enrich others?" It was a good question, especially in these times. I wrote back to him and told him that my definition of success is the progressive realization of a worthy goal. Certainly people in the drug and pornography business would not qualify as successful. What they're doing is counterproductive, destructive, and involves, in the case of drugs, the enslavement and death of thousands. And he went on to say that while our needs are few and relatively simple, our wants in this incredibly affluent society are virtually endless. By meeting those wants, whatever they may be, we serve others, not always to their benefit, nor to our own. Nor would I call those in drugs and pornography successful, nor do their riches amount to much if they're apprehended and sent to prison. But I did stop using that quotation. It is possible to get rich without enriching others. But for most of us, it's not the way we want to go. It's nothing to take pride in. Why bother when there are so many positive, excellent, and productive ways to serve others? But whatever our goal happens to be, if we stay with it, if we're fully committed to it, we'll reach it. That's the way it works. It's estimated that about 5% of the population achieves unusual success. For the rest, averages seem to be good enough. Most seem to just drift along, taking circumstances as they come, and perhaps hoping from time to time that things will get better. I like to compare human beings with ships, as Carlyle used to do. It's estimated that about 95% can be compared to ships without rudders. Subject to every shift of wind and tide, they are helplessly adrift, and while they fondly hope that they will one day drift into some rich and bustling port, you and I know that for every narrow harbor entrance, there are 1,000 miles of coastline. The chances of their drifting into port are 1,000 to 1 against them. First, the power of nature and such people, turn to the thought between the possibility. They look to nothing. Don't seem to realize how steeply the odds are stacked against them. Someone wins from time to time, to be sure, but the odds are still there. But the 5% who have taken the time and exercised the discipline to climb into the driver's seat of their lives, who have decided upon a challenging goal to reach and fully committed themselves to reaching it, sail straight and far across the deep oceans of life, reaching one port after another and accomplishing more in just a few years than the rest accomplish in a lifetime. If you should visit a ship in port and ask the captain for his next port of call, he'll tell you in a single sentence. Even though the captain cannot see his port, his destination, for fully 99% of the voyage, he knows it's there, and that barring an unforeseen and highly unlikely catastrophe, he'll reach it. All he has to do is keep doing certain things every day. If someone asks you for your next port of call, your goal, could you tell him? Is your goal clean and concise in your mind? Do you have it written down? It's a good idea. We need reminding, reinforcement. If you can get a picture of your goal and stick it to your bathroom mirror, it's an excellent idea to do so. Thousands of successful people carry their goals written on a card in their wallets or purses. When we ask people what they're working for, chances are they'll answer in vague generalities. They might say, oh, good health or happiness or lots of money. That's not good. Good health should be a universal goal. We all want that and do our best to achieve and maintain it. But happiness is a byproduct of something else, and lots of money is much too vague. It might work, but I think it's better to choose a particular sum of money. The better, the clearer our goal is defined, the more real it becomes to us. And before long, the more attainable. Happiness comes from the direction in which we're moving. Children are happier on Christmas morning, before opening their presents, than they are Christmas afternoon. No matter how wonderful their presents may be, it's after Christmas. They'll enjoy their gifts, to be sure, but we often find them querulous and irritable Christmas afternoon. We're happier on our way out to dinner than we are on the way home. We're happier going on vacation than we are coming home from it. And we're happier moving toward our goals than even after they've been accomplished, believe it or not. That's why it's so important to set new goals as soon as the current one is realized. And we should never stop this process. All the days of our lives, we should be engaged in moving toward, earning, and looking forward to a new plateau on which to stand, a new goal to accomplish. If you, like so many millions of Americans, don't know what it is you want sufficiently to name as your primary goal, I recommend you make out a want list. Take a notepad. Go off by yourself and write down the things you'd really like to have very much, or do. One might be a beautiful new home, or a trip around the world, a visit to some special country or place. You might be yearning for a sailboat or a motor yacht, or if you're an avid fisherman, you might want to go salmon fishing in Alaska or trout fishing in New Zealand. It might be a business of your own or a particular position with your company. It might be a certain income that will permit you to live the way you'd like to live, or, as I said earlier, a certain amount of money in good investments or in a savings account. How about a special make of car or an addition to your present home? Just write down everything you can think of that you would really like to see come about in your life. Then when you've exhausted your wants, go over the list again and number the items in the order of their importance. Then make number 1 your present goal. Listen to this message often, as I hope you'll listen to all the messages until they become a habit-knit way of thinking and doing things. Believe me, the system works. It works every time. Life plays no favorites. If anyone can succeed, and millions do, so can you. Of one thing you may be sure, you will become what you think about. If your thinking is circular and chaotic, your life will reflect that chaos. But if your thinking is orderly and clear, if you have a goal that's important for you to reach, then reach it. You will. One goal at a time. That's important. That's where most people unwittingly make their mistake. They don't concentrate on a single goal long enough to reach it before they're off on another track, then another, with the result that they achieve nothing but confusion and excuses. I started looking for the so-called secret of success when I was 12 years old. I read every book I could find on the subject. I studied psychology and sociology. I studied the great religions of the world, and I read the world's greatest philosophers. And all of a sudden, many years later, I realized that in the hundreds of lives I'd studied, in the countless books I'd read, a plain and simple truth had kept appearing. It's believed that no one can learn anything until he or she is ready for it. And apparently I was finally ready, in my late 20s, to finally see for the first time the secret I had searched for so long. It was simply this: we become what we think about. You see, you are at this moment the living embodiment of the sum total of your thoughts to this point in your life. You can be nothing else. Similarly, 5 years from now, you'll be the sum total of your thoughts to that point in time. But you can control your thoughts. You can decide upon that, on which you wish to concentrate, about what you think about from this point forward. And you will become that. You will realize that goal as sure as anything on earth can be sure. That's why having a goal toward which to work is so very important. It gives our minds a focus and our lives direction. By thinking every morning, every night, and as many times during the day as you can about this exciting single goal we've established for ourselves, we actually begin moving toward it and bringing it toward us. When we concentrate our thinking, it's like taking a river that's twisting and turning and meandering all over the countryside and putting it into a straight, smooth channel. Now it has power, direction, economy, speed. Several billions of human beings would give anything they have to enjoy the freedom and personal liberty you and I take for granted, to have the right to choose their work and their goals, to enjoy our bountiful standard of living, our educational system, to know the peace and privacy of our homes, and to have laws which protect the citizen rather than persecute him. We have it all. Yet in the midst of our plenty, millions lead unhappy, aimless lives. They live in tiny prisons of their own fashioning. These are the people who don't know that each of us, each one of us, not the economy, or fate, or luck, or the breaks, each one of us is in charge of his or her own life. Each one of us is completely responsible. As Carlyle put it, the person without a purpose is like a ship without a rudder. Have a purpose in life, and having it, throw such strength of mind and muscle into your work as God has given you. He also said, a person with a half volition goes backward and forward and makes no way on the smoothest road. But the person with a whole volition advances on the roughest and will reach his or her purpose if there be even a little wisdom in it. And Munger said, there is no road to success but through a clear, strong purpose. Nothing can take its place. A purpose underlies character, culture, position, attainment of every sort. So decide upon your goal. Insist upon it. Look at your goal card every morning and night, and as many times during the day as you conveniently can. By so doing, you will insinuate your goal into your subconscious mind. See yourself as having already attained your goal, and do that every day without fail, and it will become a habit before you realize it. A habit will take you from one success to another all the years of your life, for that is the secret of success, the door to everything you will ever have or be. You are now, and you most certainly will become what you think about. All creatures at birth are supplied with everything they need for successful survival. All creatures except one are supplied with a set of instincts that will do the job for them, and because of that, they don't need much of a brain. Take the magnificent bald eagle, for example. My wife and I saw dozens of them on a recent fishing trip in Alaska. To see one of them come swooping down and pluck a live and sizable fish from the water on a single pass is astonishing. More astonishing still is the eagle's eyesight. And because of its need to see small rodents moving in the grass from high altitudes or a fish just inches under the surface of the water, its incredible eyes take up just about all of the space in its head. For the eagle, its eyes are the most important thing, and everything else works in unison with them. Its brain is tiny and rudimentary. It doesn't think or plan or remember. It simply acts in accordance with stimuli. And it's the same with most other living creatures. Even the beautiful porpoise with a much larger brain and the chimpanzee are easily tamed and taught. Only one takes 20 years to mature and has dominion over all the rest and the earth itself, and has today the power to destroy all life on earth in a couple of hours. Only one is given the godlike power to fashion its own life according to the images it holds in its remarkable mind. Everything fashioned by human beings is a result of goal setting. We reach our goals. That's how we know that the diseases that plague us will be conquered. We've set goals to eradicate every disease that plagues us, and eradicate them we will, one by one. We have never set a goal that we have not reached, or are now in the process of reaching. Even landing on the moon. No one ever made a purposeful accomplishment without a clear goal toward which to work. I hope you've established yours and that you've begun to think about it frequently every day to impress it into your mind, particularly your remarkable subconscious, where forces greater than we can imagine can come to your aid. For a moment, consider the things your mind has brought you. Everything you have, your work, your relationship with your family and others, your philosophy of life, all come to you as a result of using your mind. Your religion. Now consider the estimate made by experts. You have probably been operating on less than 10% of your mental capacity, and probably much less than that. In an article for the Saturday Review, our old friend Herbert Otto, psychologist, educator, and chairman of the National Center for the Exploration of Human Potential, reminded us that many well-known scientists, such as the late Abraham Maslow, Margaret Mead, Gardner Murphy, O. Spurgeon English, and Carl Rogers, subscribe to the hypothesis that man is using a very small fraction of his capacities. Margaret Mead quotes a 6% figure. Herbert Otto writes, "My own estimate is 5% or less." Neurological research has shed new light on man's potential. Work at the UCLA Brain Research Institute points to enormous abilities latent in everyone by suggesting an incredible hypothesis. They said the ultimate creative capacity of the human brain may be, for all practical purposes, infinite. To use the computer analogy, man is a vast storehouse of data, but we have not learned how to program ourselves to utilize these data for problem-solving purposes. The following appeared in Soviet Life Today, a USSR English language magazine. It said the latest findings in anthropology, psychology, logic, and physiology show that the potential of the human mind is very great indeed. As soon as modern science gave us some understanding of the structure and work of the human brain, we were struck with its enormous reserve capacity, writes Yefremov, eminent Soviet scholar and writer. He continues, Man, under average conditions of work and life, uses only a small part of his thinking equipment. If we were able to force our brain to work at only half its capacity, we could, without any difficulty whatever, learn 40 languages, memorize the large Soviet encyclopedia from cover to cover, and complete the required courses of dozens of colleges. End of quote. That statement is hardly an exaggeration. It's the generally accepted theoretical view of man's mental potentials. Now, how can we tap this gigantic potential? It's a big and very complex problem with many ramifications. But as Herbert Otto points out, it's clear that persons who live close to their capacity, who continue to activate their potential, have a pronounced sense of well-being and considerable energy. They see themselves as leading purposeful and creative lives. The way most people use their minds can be compared to the time back in the early 19th century when just the eastern coast of the North American continent was settled, just a strip along the east coast. To the west stretched the raw, undeveloped great bulk of what was later to become the incredibly rich 90% of the economy. 90%, which resulted in the standard of living enjoyed today by Americans. If everything you have is the result of using just 5% of your mind, consider for a moment what it will mean to you and your family if you can increase this percentage. This message will show you how to use infinitely more of your mental powers, how to develop some of that more than 90% virgin territory. None of us, as a rule, has the slightest notion of the real capabilities of his or her mind, but believe me when I say that your mind can be compared to an undiscovered gold mine, and it makes no difference whether you're 17 or 70. Look at it this way. Your goal is in the future. Your problem is to bridge the gap which exists between where you now are and the goal you intend to reach. This is the problem to solve. Robert Seashore, then chairman of the Department of Psychology at Northwestern University, pointed out that successful people are not people without problems. They're simply people who've learned to solve their problems. And there you have it. Living successfully, getting the things we want from life, is a matter of solving the problems which stand between where we now are and the point we wish to reach. No one is without problems. They're part of living. But let me show you how much time we waste in worrying about the wrong problems. Here's a reliable estimate of the things people worry about. Things that never happen, 40%. Things over and past that can never be changed by all the worry in the world, 30%. Needless worries about our health, 12%. Petty miscellaneous worries, 10%. Real, legitimate worries, 8%. In short, 92% of the average person's worries take up valuable time, cause painful stress, even mental anguish, and are absolutely unnecessary. And of the real, legitimate worries, there are two kinds. There are the problems we can solve, and there are the problems beyond our ability to personally solve. But most of our real problems usually fall into the first group, the ones we can solve if we learn how. There must be millions of people today who feel they're being barred from the life they want because they look upon problems not as challenges to be met, but as wide chasms beyond their ability to bridge. A little research proves that successful people have the same kinds of problems. One of the very real benefits of working with a psychologist or psychiatrist comes from learning that there are hundreds of thousands, even millions of other people with problems identical to our own. So the whole thing boils down to a matter not of problems which are common to us all, but to our ability to solve them. Now I'm going to assume you've decided on a goal. Remember, you will become and you will achieve what you think about. That is, if you stay with it, you'll reach your goal. But how? It's right here that your mind comes into play. What is your mind really? Nobody knows for sure. Perhaps the best way to describe it is to quote Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright Archibald MacLeish. In his play, The Secret of Freedom, a character says, "The only thing about a man that is a man is his mind. Everything else you can find in a pig or a horse." That's uncomfortably true. The human mind is the one thing that separates us from the rest of the creatures on Earth. Everything that means anything to us comes to us through our minds, our love of our families, our beliefs, all of our talents, knowledge, abilities. Everything is reflected through our minds. Anything that comes to us in the future will almost certainly come to us as a result of the extent to which we use our minds. And yet it's the last place on Earth the average person will turn to for help. You know why? You know why people don't automatically turn their own vast mental resources on when faced with a problem? It's because they've never learned to think. And that is a fact, believe it or not. Most people never think at all during the entire course of their lives. They remember, but that's not thinking creatively or in new directions. They react to stimuli, but again, that's not thinking. Remembering to set the alarm at night and getting up when it rings in the morning does not take thought, nor does showering, shaving, getting dressed, eating breakfast, going to work. At work, we once again fall into comfortable routines. At quitting time, we go home and start repeating the process. Most people, let me say, do not know how to think. When they're faced with a problem, they will go to any length to avoid thinking. They will ask advice from the most illogical people, usually people who don't know any more than they do, next-door neighbors, members of their families. Very few of them have reference books. But much more important than that, only one in I don't know how many thousands will take a large notepad, write the problem at the top of the page, and then deliberately turn on his or her thinking apparatus. But some people do think. They do indeed. In order to reflect a moment on the human mind, consider what it's accomplished. As you do, realize that we are developing so rapidly that we've come further in the realm of progress in the past 50 years than in all the preceding 10,000 years of human civilization. Of all the scientists who ever lived, it's estimated that 90% of them are alive today. We've reached in the area of ideas and human advancement a plateau so high it was undreamed of by even the most optimistic forecasters as recently as 30 years ago. But every new idea triggers additional ideas, so that now we're in an era of compounding advancement on every front and in every area that stagger the imagination. The harnessing of the power of the sun in our atomic plants and ships, the speed of light computers, which in minutes save months and years of calculating drudgery. Every man-made thing you see and touch spawned from the most powerful agency in the world, the human mind. Dr. Harlow Shapley of Harvard has said that we're now entering an entirely new age of man. He calls it the Psychozoic age, the age of the mind. And you, my friend, own one, free and clear. Now let's look at a few facts. The 40-hour week long standard is in imminent likelihood of being even further shortened. This means that the average working person has at his disposal an enormous amount of free time. In fact, if you will total the hours in a year and subtract the sleeping hours, if he or she sleeps 8 hours every night, you'll find that this person has about 6,000 waking hours, of which less than 2,000 are spent on the job. Now, this leaves 4,000 hours a year when a person is either working or sleeping. These can be called discretionary hours with which that person can do pretty much as he or she pleases. So that you can see the amazing results in your own life, I want to recommend that you take just 1 hour a day, 5 days a week, and devote this hour to exercising your mind. You don't even have to do it on weekends. Pick 1 hour a day on which you can fairly regularly count. The best time for me is an hour before the others are up in the morning. The mind's clear, the house is quiet, and if you like, with a fresh cup of coffee, this is the time to start the mind going. And here's one good way to do it. During this hour every day, take a completely blank sheet of paper. At the top of the page, write your present primary goal, clearly, simply. Then, since our future depends upon the way in which we handle our work, write down as many ideas as you can for improving that which you now do. Try to think of 20 possible ways in which the activity that fills your day can be improved. You won't always get 20, but even one idea is good. Now remember 2 important points with regard to this. 1, this is not particularly easy. And 2, most of your ideas won't be any good. When I say it's not easy, I mean it's like starting any other habit. At first, you'll find your mind a little reluctant to be hauled up out of that old familiar bed. But as you think about your work and ways in which it might be improved, write down every idea that pops into your head, no matter how absurd it might seem. Let me tell you what will happen. Some of your ideas will be good and worth testing. The most important thing, however, that this extra hour accomplishes is that it deeply embeds your goal into your subconscious mind, starts the whole vital machinery working the first thing every morning, and 20 ideas a day, if you can come up with that many, total 100 a week, even skipping weekends. An hour a day, 5 days a week, totals 260 hours a year, and still leaves you 3,740 hours of free leisure time. Now, this means you'll be thinking about your goal and ways of improving your performance, increasing your service. 6.5 full extra working weeks a year, 6.5 40-hour weeks devoted to thinking and planning. Can you see how easy it is to rise above that so-called competition? And it'll still leave you with 7 hours a day to spend as you please. Starting each day thinking, you'll find that your mind will continue to work all day long, and you'll find that at odd moments when you least expect it, really great ideas will begin to bubble up from your subconscious. When they do, write them down as soon as you can. Just one great idea can completely revolutionize your work and, as a result, your life. If you want to develop the muscles of your body, you take daily exercise of some sort. The mind is developed in the same way, except that the returns are out of all conceivable proportion to the time and energy spent. The mind of man can lift anything. His muscles, even the best developed, are puny alongside those of some of the dumbest animals on earth. If man had depended on his muscles for survival, he probably would have disappeared, as did the dinosaurs, which were, incidentally, the most physically powerful and most successful creatures that ever lived. Let me give you just some of the results people have reported to me as a consequence of following this 1 hour a day routine. An office equipment salesman sold more of his company's product in 1 month than he informally sold in an entire year during the 4 years he'd been with his company. A Sunday school teacher with 5 pupils set a goal of 30 pupils. Her last letter told me she now has a class of 25. She's almost reached her goal. I've used this system for years, and it's given me some of the most gratifying and rewarding experiences of my life. And it costs only 5 hours a week. 5 hours out of 168. Is it worth it? It's like spending 5 hours a week digging in a solid vein of pure gold, because your mind is all of that and much more. Each time you write your goal at the top of the sheet of paper, don't worry or become concerned about it. Think of it as only waiting to be reached, a problem only waiting to be solved. Face it with faith and bend all the great powers of your mind toward solving it. And believe me, solve it you will. You know, this puts each of us in the driver's seat. Now let's briefly recap. 1. This week, start spending 1 hour a day getting as many ideas as you can. Try for 20 a day on ways to improve what you're now doing. Don't become discouraged. Remember, the achievement of your goal very likely depends upon it, as does your whole future. Once you start exercising your mind in this way, I know you'll want to continue the practice. 2. If everything you now have is the result of using, say, 5 to 10% of your mental ability, you can imagine what life will be like if you can increase this figure to 20% or more. 3. Successful people are not people without problems. They're simply people who've learned to solve their problems. 4. Don't waste time and energy worrying about needless things. 40% of them will never happen. 30% have already happened and can't be changed. 12% are needless worries about our health. 10% are petty, miscellaneous worries, and only 8% are genuine. Try to separate the real from the unnecessary and solve those which are within your ability to solve. 5. The human race has advanced farther during the past 50 years than in all the preceding 10,000 years of human civilization. We're now living right in the middle of the golden age man has been dreaming of and praying for centuries, and it's going to get better. Last of all, the only thing in the world that can take you to your goals in life is your mind, its effective use, and following through on the good ideas it supplies you. Each of us has a tendency to underestimate his or her own abilities. We should realize that we have deep within ourselves deep reservoirs of great ability, even genius, that can be tapped if we'll just dig deep enough. It's the miracle of your mind.
All right. That concludes part 2. Is everybody still alive?
Oh, yes, I'm still with you, Chris.
Awesome. Yeah, I devote at least 4 hours to 5 hours a day of thinking of ways to improve what Kareem and I do. So you can imagine the kind of edge that I'm gaining on the competition.
Yes, I can imagine. I mean, between you and Kareem, I know the hours that you put in every week just to make 2 gatherings a week on Saturday and Tuesday come together, and I appreciate your efforts so much.
Yeah, I know. Thank you. Yeah, it's you know, and when you think about it, what he says is not difficult. None of this is difficult. This entire process of manifesting what you really want to bring about is not difficult. It's the fact that people just don't want to do it because it's easier to go to a job every day. It's easier to have your tasks laid out for you. It's easier to just be on autopilot than it is to use your brain. But for me, it's the complete opposite. That type of stuff, I can't work normal jobs other than the one I'm doing where I get to work by myself, because working in retail and all that meaningless stuff drove me insane. I knew that I had a creative mind. I knew that I had to exercise my mind, and I knew that I had to, I'm going to go on video here. I knew that I had to get away from that. I knew that I had to do something like this. I was very young. I just had to figure out how I was going to do it. And I finally figured it out. So.
Well, you and Kareem, speaking as the elder person of the group here, you're well on your way. You're well on your way. But I have noticed in the past year that I've become mentally somewhat flagellant and lazy, for lack of a better term, in exercising my mind. That many of the goals that I wanted to reach, I've done. You know, it's not that I don't have more goals now that I want to reach new beginnings, as it were, that I've done it before and I can do it again.
Sure you can. You're never too old to set a goal, friend, so don't even worry about don't focus on time you've wasted. Like Earl Nightingale says, don't even think about that. All that matters is what you start doing tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yep.
And if you got one oar in the water and you're rowing, you're going to get there.
Yeah, that's right.
But if you put 2 in, you're going to get there quicker, because you're not going to go around in circles to start with.
Yep, exactly. For me, it's just been about making the decision to push myself and to keep productive. So, yep. It feels good to get out of bed and have purpose, to have something that I want to bring about. So
doesn't it? It does. You can't wait to get your feet off the bed and, in my case, just transfer to my wheelchair and start motivating every day. I can't wait.
Yep. It's the way to be. That's the way all humans are supposed to be. We're supposed to be achieving. We're supposed to be setting goals, because that's why That's why people start, going crazy and get depressed and stuff like that, because they're not exercising their entire potential. They're not realizing their full potential, and they're not working on themselves and working towards achieving things. And that's what should be taught in school. Math is hardly important. It is in some cases, but the stuff they're teaching in the education system it doesn't teach you how to succeed.
They don't teach you how to think.
No, they do not. Not at all. No. That's why we're here now, though. That's why the Entrepreneur Power Hour is here. We're the new school. So there you go. Yep.
We are the school of the new millennium here, and
there you go.
New people need to venture in and get their feet wet, and it doesn't hurt. Thinking is a natural phenomena, and it's one thing that we are truly blessed with, that you can't be executed for your thoughts in the U.S.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah. What else is a gift is using soap, but some people don't do that.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, yeah, Kareem.
I did notice there was some background noise during one part of
Kareem's
the broadcast tonight.
Yeah, Kareem's bandmates. Did you invite them, Kareem?
That wasn't my bandmate, but a couple of my friends and people saw it, and they said, "What are you doing?" And I said, we're doing a mastermind. If you can come in and mute yourself, that'd be fine."
Okay, because they didn't look like they were in a place where they'd be able to concentrate. So.
No, not really. They just wanted to see what it was.
Oh. So, what did you get from this second part of the course, Kareem?
I thought it was interesting because it's rare to see in our society that people set any goals outside from doing anything outside of the norm.
Yep.
And it's really difficult to get people to actually work towards a goal of their own. And when I say that, I mean, people will say, yeah, I got to get this done. I got to get that done. I got to do stuff because my employer said I had to. As opposed to, you coming up with your own ideas, your own, I'm going to interview people and I'm going to start stuff with the Power Hour. I'm going to work with this guy and that guy. And I'm going to actually create something on my own, whether it's on the internet or offline, doesn't matter. But the fact is that you're going to sit there and come up with your own creation in this world and get it out there. That's how everybody who I've known has succeeded, has done anything.
Yep.
And that's kind of what we're doing here. So I thought it was a good one today, and it's kind of relaxing to wind down with these at the end of the night, because then I can wake up and think, oh, okay, I really learned something. I didn't just go to sleep and wake up again and do the 9 to 5 with no hope.
We can't hear you.
Oh,
I thought it was just me. You faded off.
I muted out. But yeah, my thoughts.
We heard most of them, but you trailed off there, Kareem, at the end. What were you saying?
I'll just say that's motivation, not just to work a 9 to 5, to actually set my own goals.
Well, I think I've been doing this each morning, is that we both should be sitting down at the start of our day and getting a piece of paper out and thinking of ways to improve the Power Hour. And
if I didn't start every day and end every day with an itinerary of things that I wanted to achieve, by 12 o'clock I'd look at my computer or my desk and say, I've done nothing.
Yep, I know. I feel the same way.
I've just sat there and wasted all my air.
Yep. And the thing is, this is how it feels for me. If I don't get what I want to get done during the day, it bothers me. and it never used to because I didn't give a shit years ago. But now that I've got
now you do because you love what you're doing.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's the key. You love what you're doing. Set a goal of what you love
Yep.
and how you're going to get there.
Yep. Yep. And I
That's
think
the crux of what the whole broadcast was tonight.
yes,
Start with what you love and
yeah.
make that your goal to embellish on it every single day. And you'll find out when you wake up, you're not going to be drudging yourself to go to work. You'll look and embrace it and can't wait to get on it.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. Cedric Wilson's with us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. He just came on for the last 8-9 minutes of the audio, but Cedric, I'll get the second part out to you right when we conclude here tonight, and you can catch up with us. How's it going, buddy?
Thank you for that. Okay.
Hi, Cedric.
Hi. How's everybody?
Doing awesome, buddy.
Everybody's just wonderful.
Okay.
So, what did you catch at that last 9 minutes? What did it? The nuggets. What were some nuggets you got from that?
What I really caught is, the first hour of the day, sitting down and setting those ideas and goals. That is powerful.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Because if we were to, and then my brother called and everything like that. I had car problems. I have a bunch of things. But you know what? This is something that I was doing, I would say, let's see, how old am I? Since maybe 20 years ago. And I worked for Nightingale Conant in Chicago.
Nice.
So I was exposed to
That is
this.
awesome.
That is awesome, man.
And I tell you, my outlook on life, everything that I did, it had purpose. The attitude, because I listened to the first one that you sent me, and have your outlook on life, our attitude, treating people as you want to be treated.
Yep, very important.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
So I want to go through this material and start to putting it back into action, and I can see where, and I missed that lately, and I've been looking for that answer, and this is that answer.
Yep, and this is just, we're going to be going through everything that I can find from Earl Nightingale. I'm also planning on getting some stuff for us from Bob Proctor, Les Brown, Tony Robbins. So we've got a lot of stuff to go through, man.
Right. So yeah, definitely. I'm in on this.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I used to be Earl Nightingale's personal secretary.
Okay. Yeah, I worked with Kevin, and all those guys.
You worked with who, Cedric?
Kevin Trudeau.
Nice.
Yeah. Even though, he defied the government. and really, if you really look into it, it was very unfair the way he was treated.
I know. Yeah, I know.
He wrote the book. He wrote that book about, doctors, what doctors don't want you to know.
Yep.
And then they started saying he was making medical claims and stuff like that, but a lot of stuff that he was talking about was right on.
Yeah.
And then he took his money and put it overseas.
Yeah. So yeah, this has been really good. What I got out of it tonight was how important it is to work on yourself consistently. And I've got all my goals written down for 2017. And whenever I'm reading a book like this, I'll make a video on all the exercises like I've been doing for the show. And I record all of the exercises from the Law of Success and put them into my phone. And I listen to all that stuff every day. And I also have a bunch of Earl Nightingale, Les Brown, Tony Robbins and stuff on my phone. And while I'm doing my deliveries, I can listen to that stuff. So I can start working on cultivating my success consciousness the minute I get out of bed. So I'm very fortunate for that. Because I don't have a job where I have to be away from that material. I can incorporate all that stuff into my work into my regular job. So very, very fortunate that I can do that. And I think that for what I've experienced from this process is it's keeping me extremely motivated. And Kareem and I, we're busting our asses, and that's the way it should be. Anybody who wants to have $1 million in their bank account better become worth $1 million. And this is the way you do it. This is the way you do it. And I'm interested to know, Cedric, why you got away from this material. You said you kind of got away from it, and you 20 years ago said that you were really into it, and what happened? What made you get away from it? Because this is something I'm going to be studying for the rest of my life.
Well,
over and over again,
Back here's the deal. Back in 1999, I was married. My wife was diagnosed with colon cancer.
Okay.
And just allowing everything from the outside to dictate, my life and so forth. And then after she died, and to be honest with you, I started drinking and doing all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
And so I kind of got further and further away from the answer, which was right in front of me. And it kind of it was no longer a part of my life. And, I guess I forgot about it, or more or less forgot about it and stopped taking the time
I'm
out.
hearing background noise. Can somebody mute out?
Yeah, hold on. I'm sorry about that.
Are you talking to Uncle
Jay, that's my daughter over there. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better. That's totally.
So
yes,
sorry.
thank you.
I wasn't thinking about it. The OKC and the game is on.
Oh, he's watching basketball. Oh shit.
And so I guess focus.
Yes.
It's about focusing on where you're at right now. You can't. When people talk about multitasking, you can't do it. That's the biggest crock of crap that ever came. I'm on a conference, and then my daughter's over here talking. Man,
That's okay.
I guess I can't say. I guess I can't say shit.
That's all right, man. Kids.
No,
kids
I'm just joking, but yeah, just focusing and you have to write stuff down.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And you have to
write stuff down and record it into your device.
And review it.
Yeah. So wherever you are, you can listen to that stuff over and over and over, because there's an interesting video I was watching with Jim Lutz, and he's a professional hypnotist.
Okay.
And I'll give you the link to that too. I sent you the link for Acres of Diamonds Part 2 just now.
Okay.
So listen to that tonight while you sleep or whatever, or before you sleep. But Jim Lutz was talking about whatever we repeatedly tell our subconscious mind, it manifests reality. And a lot of people are like, well, how the hell does that work? That can't be true. You can't just do affirmations and stuff happen. Yes, you can. Yes,
you can. You definitely can. And when you write something, write down a thought, you're absorbing it mentally, you're absorbing it visually.
Yeah.
And it definitely puts a mark on your brain.
Yeah, and it also tells the universe that you're serious. That's for damn.
Yes, it does.
I was listening to an interview. I don't know who it was. This guy is very successful. He was on a podcast with Mike Dillard, and he said his goal, and he said he tried to write it, you know, with his time, the time he had 1,000 times a day, just same thing over and over and over and over.
Right.
And it was just a short, definite goal until he reached it. And you're right. If you'd have to kind of like,
I'll have to look for it. I've got a CD that Mike Dillard had that on there.
okay. And you know, it's like, remember those records you used to have, and it gets scratched at a certain point,
and it repeats itself. Yep.
So it's that's what we do is we it becomes ingrained and becomes a part of us, our conscious and our subconscious.
Yes, sir.
And whatever the mind can visualize, it can create.
Absolutely. You're right. And that's the gift we've been given as human beings. You know, a lot of people, I have such a hard time now because I'm on this path and this journey of enlightenment, discovery, personal development, and achievement. I can't be around people who don't have goals and vision and that don't want to achieve. They're toxic to me now because it's like I look at them and I go, you can't possibly tell me you're happy. You know, and okay, you know, if they do say, yes, actually I am happy, I'm very frugal, I don't want this, I'll go, okay. You know, it's difficult for me to understand because I lived like that for so long where I was basically a nihilist. And I just didn't care. I didn't care if I achieved things. I didn't care if I did things. I didn't care. And I think that's how my anxiety disorder developed when it was at its worst, is that I had all this creative energy in me, all this potential, all this massive achievement consciousness.
And nowhere to use it.
No, I had nowhere to direct any of that energy. I had nowhere
to direct. Yes.
Yeah, and when I finally snapped out of mental inertia, I was like, you know what? That's it. And I just know that we work our asses off, the rewards are coming. So.
Right.
And the more people we can bring up with us, the better, because that's why we're doing this. So there you go. The more people that come on the journey with us, it's for everybody. So there you go. Yep, exactly. Yes, sir. It was really great. I love listening to
everybody's welcome. There's no superiority here.
Nope.
You know, everybody's welcome. Everybody's opinion counts.
Sure.
And nobody is belittled because of their input. We welcome everybody's input.
Well, the thing is, I heard this, and, you know, I'm not really good on keeping up with names, but, you know, you don't want to be the smartest person in the room. Because if you're the smartest person in the room, you're not going to learn anything.
Exactly.
When I played sports, I always tried to find the guys that had superior talent, that were a whole lot better than me. Because I knew that if I played against them, I would get better. So iron sharpens iron.
Nice. Yeah.
And and I've never looked at myself or anybody else in that perspective. You know, you know, it's not good to do.
No, man, it's not. No,
not good to do at all.
You know, and in my journey so far, it's been. It's just after meeting Kareem, that's when stuff really changed. Because when I came up with the entrepreneur power, and I said, Kareem, that's it. And it just came to me, and I was like, Kareem, this is it. This is what we need to do. We need to build this.
Right.
And we've been honing it and refining it ever since. And we're constantly adding to it. We're constantly adding to it. So. And that's why we need everybody's help. We need everybody's input. We need everybody's ideas. We need everybody's thoughts. We need everybody's vision, because that's what's going to build this. That's what's going to make this blow up. It's not about Kareem and I. It's about all of you guys.
And everyone's story.
Exactly. Exactly, man. Exactly. You got it, brother. You got it. So I've had a really, really good time tonight. Kareem, did you have anything else you wanted to talk about here? What are you eating, cat? Oh, my kitty's trouble.
Chris, why don't you take a few minutes and talk about
Look at here.
what's in the works as far as the Shopify and what's in the plans for the Power Hour as far as
I know what you're
the
talking about.
monetary contribution.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. So I guess I could go through the product's mission statement really quick. Actually, we should conclude every show with this. Kareem, do you want to come on and talk about this? If he hasn't fallen asleep.
Yeah, I think he has.
Yeah, maybe.
So let's keep moving forward here.
Yeah, we are. I'm just opening this. Okay, so our motivation and plan is the internet is a vast and amazing invention for entrepreneurs to utilize and to create new businesses and generate capital in multiple ways. So the problem is that with so much information online, especially for someone who is considering becoming an entrepreneur, or for new entrepreneurs, it can be very frustrating and scary. The Entrepreneur Power Hour solves this dilemma by creating a community of professional entrepreneurs with different backgrounds, skills, and expertise all under one roof, uniting the same goal. The goal is to make online business owners and entrepreneurs successful, not only monetarily, but mentally and spiritually. So the chief aim and the main goals of the Entrepreneur Power Hour are, number one, to unite the world's entrepreneurs. Number two, our services include video production, blogging strategies, social media marketing, personal development courses, cryptocurrency education, life coaching, business consulting, helping you identify legitimate opportunities as opposed to scams, why you should not choose network marketing. Number three, giving people a platform to come and present their businesses and organizations to other entrepreneurs. Number four, as I said, life coaching services. Number five, providing sound YouTube collaborations and content advice for those who want to have a successful YouTube presence. Now moving on to the products and descriptions. So the first module is the coaching and personal development series. So the initial goal setting session is $25 for 30 minutes. So this can be an initial goal setting session specifically for new entrepreneurs or people considering becoming entrepreneurs to help target their definite chief aim, solidify their business goals, and start them on the road to their life purpose. Once payment is received, the time slot will be scheduled via Calendly or Google Calendar for consultation. These sessions can be done either face-to-face on Zoom or Google Hangouts or on the phone or Skype. Basic coaching package is $50 per hour. This will be a basic education session for new or advanced entrepreneurs to teach them the skills like how to cultivate a wealth mindset, starting and learning the basics of the law of attraction, and how to build some motivation and a burning desire. This will be done from educational materials like Think and Grow Rich, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, lessons from Bob Proctor, speaking techniques from Les Brown, etc., and life coaching lessons we've learned from Tony Robbins and Jim Rohn. Once payment is received, a time slot will also be scheduled via Calendly or Google Calendar for consultation. These sessions can also be done with Zoom or on the phone or over Skype. Another question we provide answers for and services for is, how do I choose an MLM with the best compensation plans, and what should I look for, and why should I choose network marketing? Our advanced coaching is $150 per hour. Now, this is an advanced session for all entrepreneurs that need to learn specific skills for their business. Now, these skills could range from video creation and editing, creative writing techniques, how to start a podcast, powerful meditation techniques, cryptocurrency education, personal branding techniques, different methods to make money online, intrinsic techniques for learning and raising consciousness and creating balance. Once payment is received, of course, a time slot is selected through Calendly or Google Calendar for the consultation. Again, sessions can be done video on Zoom or Skype or the phone. Group coaching. So our group coaching is $150 per hour as well. Now, this is a session for all entrepreneurs who have a complex problem that cannot be solved one-on-one by Kareem or myself. and requires the skill of multiple people. So people like you, Cedric, people like Francis, and other panelists that may know stuff that Kareem and I do not know. So once payment is received, the time slot is scheduled, of course, again, via Calendly, Google Calendar, can be done with Zoom or on the phone for Skype. Pay Me What I'm Worth coaching, $200 per month, 12 people per class needed. Now, this is for Kareem and I to start our own Pay Me What I'm Worth class. So what this is, Cedric, is it's a specialized life coaching program that will last for 1 year, and only the serious and dedicated people can be involved. Now, why is that? Because at $200 per month, if even one person doesn't make their monthly payment, we all have to pick up the slack for that person who's not fully committed, okay? So keep that in mind. The cost is $200 and requires a group of 12 people to get the class started. The class consists of a physical workbook, online interaction materials, and a support team leader. The purpose of Pay Me What I'm Worth is to help others achieve balance and raise their consciousness and the consciousness of others through a little trick we called exploring. If interested, you can email Kareem663@gmail.com or myself, Chris Peters, 8705 @hotmail.com to see if you qualify. Moving on to our branding services, Cedric. Personalized radio interviews, $50. This will be a scheduled radio interview to help showcase the entrepreneurial journey of a particular individual. This is done through a series of 5 questions that Kareem and I ask you for an average of 20 to 35 minutes. The questions and call-in number will be provided ahead of time for you. This interview will then be uploaded to our Blog Talk radio show and shared on multiple social media networks to help boost and create social media presence of the particular individual's business, audio only. Okay, so on video presentation for their business, $50. So this is a scheduled video broadcast via Zoom to showcase an online or an offline business of a particular entrepreneur or business owner. The guest will be provided 1 hour of our time on Zoom to showcase their business to the panel through an open discussion format, which will allow constructive questions and screen sharing capabilities. The video will be edited after by Kareem and myself and aired live on our YouTube channel and be uploaded and shared on multiple social media networks for additional exposure. Video and audio is included in that price. Business launching events, price point is $25 for this. This will be a scheduled launch via the Shopify site, target for entrepreneurs with newly opened businesses, get customers and views faster. So like I was telling you, Cedric, it's you're paying for advertising space. We can hold a business launch for you on our website, that kind of stuff for only $25. This event will be shared on social media before and after to maximize exposure for your business launch. Now, moving on to our video production services. Whiteboard, blackboard, and greenboard videos, $50 for 1 minute, $100 for 3 minutes, $500 for 10 minutes, and $1,000 anything beyond. Voiceovers are $25 extra. If you need us to narrate over the video, we can do that as well. So what we can do is Kareem and I have been working with VideoScribe, Doodly, VideoMaker FX, Explaindio, and other whiteboard / blackboard, greenboard video programs. And what we do is we can create a whiteboard video with a script and images provided by you and what you want added into the video to help showcase your business and all of the benefits that you can provide to others. We can also do voiceovers if you need be. Animation videos, $50 for 1 minute, $100 for 3 minutes, $500 for 10, $1,000 anything beyond 10 minutes, voiceover $25 extra. Now what we do with this is we can create an animation videos with a script and images obviously provided by you to help showcase your business and all the benefits you provide for others. Also can do voiceovers for that one as well. Intro and outro videos, $5 per intro and outro. So what we do with this is we can create a basic intro and outro for your business or your YouTube channel for only $5. We can create a logo and add it to the video as well. Kareem and I also do logo design. That's a $5 price point. Every business needs a good logo to create a powerful association in people's minds with respect to the services they provide. Have Chris and Kareem design your logo for you today. So, professional testimonials and review videos via Camtasia software. So we can create an eye-catching and memorable video using our professional studios and lighting in addition with our Camtasia skills to express the power of your business to others. We can also design a logo for you and put it in the videos. Now, with this service, we are open to negotiating price, and that's why Kareem and I didn't list one for this. So depending on how long the video is, how long the testimonial is, prices are negotiable, okay? Video editing via Camtasia is $50 per hour. because video editing takes a lot of time. As I've explained to you, Cedric and Fran, it can take up to 5 hours for me to finish a video. We can edit your existing Camtasia video by adding intros, callouts, music, amazing end screens, and also adding video clips of different things you'd like to showcase in the same video. We are also adding some physical products such as t-shirts, mugs to include the description after the launch. Please review and let me know what you guys think. Okay, this is just added information. I didn't need to read that. So yes, that is our list of services.
That is a full repertoire of services, Chris.
Yep.
And I appreciate you sharing that with everybody.
That is powerful. It is so powerful. And there are some things there I see that could be beneficial for me.
Awesome, brother.
Yeah, I'm glad you liked it.
Well, you know, Kareem and I will do a hell of a job for you, man.
You woke up, Kareem.
I was awake. I was just listening in. And then when you hit the thing, I was looking at the website. No, basically what happened is we were talking to a branding expert, and I really need to sit down and say, what are our services?
Well, we both did. We both need to do that, Kareem.
And it comes down to, I can say the Power Hour, unite the world's entrepreneurs, we'll save you, we'll help you out.
Right.
And that's okay, but that's kind of vague. It's kind of like, someone coming up and saying, hey, I have a great business. We do things and stuff. And
right.
We're dedicated to professionalism. You're like, okay, but what do you do? Will I get a logo? Will I get a video? Will I get coaching? What you going to give me? And now we have actual exactly coming into a store. Here's what you're going to get. Here's what we're going to do. Here's how we're going to do it.
Gentlemen, may I make a suggestion that we carry this forward, or the conversation forward, but stop the recording?
Oh, yes.
I would agree with that. So, thank
you, everybody, for being here tonight. I want to thank Kareem Mays, Fran Richardson, Cedric Wilson. Always a pleasure to have these awesome people that believe in us, and we thank you for your support. And we'll see you guys Tuesday night.